Hello, everybody, and welcome back. That's right, we are doing a special episode for you at home, and well, of course, even if you're on the go. Now, this one's a little bit more of a visual episode, so you may actually have to be visually looking at your phone or TV, tablet, however you're watching this, dare I say, podcast, watchcast, livecast. Now, of course, what I'm doing here today for you, and you can see there's a lot of cards in front of you, we're actually covering the 2024 tournament season promos. Now, one of these, of course, creeps into 2025, so it's unique in its own right, but I wanted to show it because, well, for one, I'm featured on one of the cards. And of course, it's an homage to a lot of people that, dare I say, kept this game going in their own rights. And, there's countless other people that, aren't named on any of these cards that truly kept OverPower going. But that is neither here nor there because this is about the promo card. So let's get this video started. So the first promo that came out, I believe, was the Oklahoma City Shootout. Now, this one, when it first came out, I was really excited about it. And I have to say, visually just super striking. And I was like, oh, this is going to be in all of my decks, and I bought a couple of them. And I, since then, have kind of changed my perspective on the card. Let me show it to you. So we got Isis here. Beautiful, beautiful Isis. Multi-2, and it's a fortification. So it replaces those, offsuit 4 that usually is in your deck. Now, I say usually because most people still continue to use, dare I say, the third or fourth suit in your deck offsuit of the fortification, which is the any home base card. Now, this is obviously a different version that you can use. Now, does the multi outweigh the fact that you lose 2 points of venture? Not often, because I find you're usually using the 4 in that sort of perspective of like an offsuit, like I said, third or fourth suit. So I think you're really still gaining a lot of momentum in terms of both spectrum and gaining that extra 2 points of venture. I have actually seen the difference of the card lose a particular round in OverPower, and I don't know. If you do have a reason for Isis to be in your deck and the reason that a multi should be there, please do write it in the comments. I'd love to read it on later on. So great card. Like I said, visually striking for the collection. I still probably would prefer to use the 4s, but great card all the same. Next card we had was, I believe, the Canadian Open. In this particular tournament, they gave a card, and I was excited at first because it was a Cataclysm. Now, a Cataclysm in OverPower is, one of the select, I believe it was 5 at the time, maybe 6, but now 7 cards with including Loki. Now, Loki essentially is a play on the old Loki, which was the -3 venture total any hero. Now, this one they gave I'd say a real big boost to. Basically what they did is they made it a -3 to venture total, but you also have to reveal your hand. Not the hand, not Loki's team's hand. The other team has to reveal their hand. Now, I imagine this card was made with the vein of thought of like Baker Street, and the thought that this could be like the big Cataclysm moment where a Baker Street deck reveals the hand, and Loki, I guess, changes the timeline. Don't come after me, Disney, please. So great card. I actually think, with the characters that are coming out in the new sets, that this might actually be a hidden gem to sort of collect, especially the foil version, because I can honestly say with all the characters that are getting a Baker Street style cards and characters of old, even in the legacy sort of idea, this card could become very, very, very playable very soon. So, great little collector item. I'd say try to get it while you still can. When the price is down in the grand scheme of things. So, great card. Came out in the Canadian Open. A lot of people sort of shunned it, but I think it's going to have a very big future value, both financially as well as probably much in the gameplay style as well. I could see a meta starting to form around this idea. Now, the next one that was given out, this card was given out at the OP Cup. I didn't know what to think of it when it came out, and I guess I'll turn it in this fashion here. So, Event Horizon, the future. It's an event that costs 1 point to your deck building total, and what you get for that 1 point is you essentially receive the ability to redraw for duplicate events that are drawn in the initial hand, not afterwards through any other duplication reasons. So it's really powerful if you're, playing a very event heavy deck, like we're talking like 4 to 7 events, with the any missions and so on that you can sort of creep in decks these days. So this one actually won the following tournament after it was released. And the player who won the tournament actually, quoted as saying like it did actually help them throughout the tournament. So really unique in that fashion, and good little, I would say, collector's piece as well in the foil edition. I don't think too many of the foils were ever printed, so good thought in that perspective. Now, before I get to the next ideas, I am just going to sort of go over one thought, and I'm going to reflip this one here back over. Now, it's unique because, as you can see between these two cards, there is actually one differentiator that is occurring. And it's a trademark that occurs actually at the bottom. Now, these two cards also had it on the base of it. And what it is, it's a trademark for BMG and Associates, dated, I think, 2022. Now, you are actually going to receive a copy of this card, this card, this card, this card, and this card at a certain tier level in the Kickstarter that's coming out. Now, you're also going to receive it in the foil version that occurs here. Now, what's really unique about this is I'm unsure, and I can't fathom why they would do it, but I'm unsure if you will actually get the one with the trademark in the Kickstarter. So these trademarked versions might actually have a higher value down the line for, dare I say, collectors who are always looking for, that rarer 1, 2, 3 or offshoot style ideas. So interesting perspective, as I did say, the first 3 have it. And then once we get to the last one, it no longer has it, as well as, what we'll get to down there. So ISIS, Oklahoma. Then, of course, we got Loki in Canada, followed by Event Horizon in Columbus. Now, I have to say, I was already pretty impressed, with the different perspective of promo cards that were coming out just for the tournament meta perspective. I was really just sort of happy that they were looking at different angles, not just sort of sticking to the, classic cliche of like just an any hero or something along those lines. So I was pretty happy that they were branching out. Now, the next one was the Seattle promo. Now, there was a mix-up from what I saw and, been told, we were supposed to receive a Deja Thoris character. It was supposed to be a beautiful version of her. I'm not sure if it was the base character we're receiving in this set, but it was in foil promo and it was supposed to be this beautiful version of her. I never actually physically got to see it, but I did hear that it was actually in the room, and a mistake was made, or a change was made on the card that wasn't actually going to be the version of the card that would eventually get released. So sadly, that promo, had to be destroyed, I imagine, or is sitting somewhere to be one day discovered and, make somebody a lot of money. So the last promo, or sorry, Seattle over here before we get to the last promo. So the Seattle promo that they replaced it with and said, we'll send it to everybody, was actually a version of Hades. Now, what they did with Hades is they actually just made a proxy version to Beyonder, the character that in Legacy allows you to get any activator from your battle site. Now, I really enjoyed the idea and concept that they did it. Now, they originally actually did the character in a non-foil version. Now, as you can see, it was a foil promo, foil promo, foil promo. And then all of a sudden they gave us a non-foil. And I think the community reacted in a unique way and were like, what's going on? Why are we getting the non-foil? And then I believe they said, oh, we'll correct it and get a foil. In the grand scheme of things. So I'm truly unsure exactly what happened there, but a foil rendition did actually come out. Now, I'm showing the two of them just to show you, even under the light, the difference in terms of, a foil version to a non-foil version. But there is actually a unique thing that I noticed as well as I was sort of laying all the cards out. And there's a few other things much like the trademark that I'm going to show you as well. So the original Hades we got was this version here. Now, beautiful art, breathtaking in the grand scheme. I really love what they did is they put all the inherent on the back. They actually did it in complete reverse, so it looks almost like you're looking through like a see-through card, but yet done in this sort of 2D version. And then I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And then you get the version of the foil, which is even, visually more striking, as you can see even the light hitting off of it, and I'm sure the reflection. And then you flip it over, but then all of a sudden it's upside down. And it's actually flipped in the wrong way. So it's a unique sort of thing to actually be able to tell the foil Hades towards the non-foil Hades. Obviously, I imagine just for the sake of everything, collectors will probably be going for the foil version over the non-foil. But really unique that one sort of has the flip proper and then the other one is accidentally done upside down. Just see how, card printing is not, precise and, done every time exactly right. Like, I can only imagine the, amount of cards certain companies have to go through for a random promo that they're trying to print or this or that. So anyways, so 4 great promos already. Then came the Battle for Boston. Great tournament, and boy did they come correct with a final promo for the year. Zeus foil. Wow. One of the premier characters in the new ERB set, done in a foil rendition. I'm unsure, but I believe this is probably going to be like his base version. So there's actually going to be like another rare version of Zeus as well out there. But this one here in the foil, wow, just chef's kiss. Beautiful, strikes the lightning. If you can get the 8s that they have that are foil power cards that are his as well, just I could imagine the synergy in the deck. It would just be stunning. If Zeus ends up becoming one of the big meta characters in the new game, you could see this card just being astronomical. If top tier players start to play it, I could just imagine that this card could go through the charts for being one of the first promos that is just absolutely a must get and an impossible get. So if you can get your hands on a Zeus foil out there right now, I would highly suggest that in the grand scheme. Of course, I would highly suggest you get all of these foils if you can. Again, on the Kickstarter on a certain tier, again, please somebody throw it in the comments. You do get this foil, this foil, this foil, this foil, and this foil. Again, I do not know if you get the ones with the trademarks on the back. So we'll have to find out. We're close about it. So we'll see very shortly. I'll keep you updated. But beautiful last promo, I have to admit. This is striking, and I'm very happy I got one of these. So as you can see, there's more cards flipped upside down at the base of the table. Now, I'm going to show you these next cards, but I don't actually believe that they're going to be included in the Kickstarter tier release. It was just for the actual tournament promos, and these 5 are basically the promos that came out in the actual tournament season. Now, this was a specialty sort of last minute promo. I shouldn't say last minute. It's 5 minutes or 5 years in the making. This was a promo that was released knowledge-wise last minute to a lot of people and was a surprise at the Champ of Champs in 2025. Now, I'm going to go through these quite quickly. There's a lot of text on these cards, and there's some beautiful stories. And basically, it's an homage to a lot of people, a lot of programs, a lot of just general hard work to keep this game in the limelight to whatever degree, and to people that, just were phenomenal people deep down. So let's get to it. It was the 30th anniversary promo. It is a remake of the Separation Anxiety promo event set. So that actually is an original OverPower, and basically they just remade it. However, with an additional je ne sais quoi, we'll say. So we have down here all of the mission sets, or mission cards. Okay, OCD is done there. No, it's not. Okay, there we go. So on the far side, we got Jack Trong, Sean Ballantyne, Phil Keffer, John Keffer, Larry Van Etten, Ed Kowalewski. We got Dave McMillan. We got, of course, Joseph Gagnipen. We have Phil Miller. We have Josh Alexander. We have Howard Bertrand. We have Tyler Bertrand. We have Keith Bursack. We have, at the end, Sean Sawyer. All faces that have pushed the game, done something for the game, continue to do something for the game, and just overall good people. So great homage to them on the back. Again, as you saw, little story about the two of them in whatever regard they are in their own OverPower capsule of just awesomeness. One thing I will note for all the people out there at home, because I like to point things out, because when I see it, and I want you to know about it. This card right here with Josh Alexander and with Phil Miller. It's actually the only card where the two names are actually flipped in the wrong way. Everybody else, their name is directly underneath them. So the two boys who got the old wrestling promo here, also have a flip name. So I don't know if we'll call it an error card because it's the only card. So it can't really be an error if it's the only card, but just a unique sort of trait on their card that's a little bit different than everybody else's mission card. Now, of course, we have the event sets as well. Now, on this edge, we have the Shadow King. So Ron Peraza, we're talking the president of OverPower, great overall guy, and played an awesome, dare I say, practical on the whole community, playing as the Shadow King and just spoofing a lot of people in the grand scheme. Well done. Great little story of him as well and his thing in OverPower. Then, of course, as the community grows, we have the Costa brothers there, always, sharing laughter and joy. We have OverPower Adventures hitting up there as well. The other podcast that started it all in terms of the podcast for OverPower. We have the GOAT, of course, dead center, just like any other moment in OverPower. And wonderful little story there in the OverPower Mountain podcast. We have the NAOL, that is the tournament scene that does Legacy. We have the pack that started everything back. I recently just saw one of those packs online for over $1,000 Canadian. You do your own transition at home. That is outrageous. Like I said, picking up something like this early when you see stuff like that getting to those prices is always, a good thought in your own mind. And then this is the last card. Now, all of these are actually just events that are still in the event set separation anxiety, as well as 7 mission cards, just different face on them. Now, they added one more in, and it is sort of, as I mentioned in one of my former podcasts or live casts, to complete the circle of OverPower. Ed here gets to tell his opponent and himself that no cards with an intellect icon may be used to attack. And, you are a friend gone too soon, my friend. But you will be remembered now by a lot of OverPower players when that card hits the table. Especially when, you start thinking of, any character decks that might use Loki and, look at that Baker Street sort of aspect moving forward. So really unique promo set that was released over the last half a year. I said I would sort of show everybody and, bring you the basics about it and kind of show you and tell you my ideas of what you might want to collect and look for. And always showing you the differences and uniqueness of some of the more definitive thoughts of OverPower promos. These are things that people look for, and still today I believe I see on the boards that people are finding different sort of variations of OverPower cards. So these are the promos that you will receive in the Kickstarter tier, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I do believe as well you can still get these promos down here as well, currently online, through your secondary market. I believe they are still available on the Orange King himself's website currently. So go get them while you still can. And thanks again for joining me. This has been the OverPower Mountain Podcast and your host, Marcel, the OP G.O.A.T.